Hello. Today, let us study vocabulary through etymology. By etymology, what I mean is studying the building blocks of a word. What better to start a vocabulary than something that brings a smile on our face, the word psycho. Psycho we use colloquially or as a slang, but there's no existence of the word psycho in proper English. The word what we mean when we say psycho is psychotic. Psychotic means somebody who has a mental disorder. The person who has a mental disorder, we can say, is a patient of psychosis. Psychosis is a state of being in mental disorder, and psychotic is the person who has a mental disorder. Now, a person with mental disorder might be of concern to two people. One is a psychologist, the other one is a psychiatrist. Psychologist, psycho, mind, logos is study. So, psychologist is the person who studies mental patterns or mental disorders, or the way a person reacts to a given situation. On the other hand, a psychiatrist has a greater concern towards curing the disorder that he has developed mentally. Psychiatrist is somebody who assesses the patterns of a psychotic and suggests a treatment or a therapy so that he can bring him back to normalcy. Psychiatrist, psychologist, psychology, psyche. Psycho becomes the root, which is mind. Psyche is the way we think or our school of thought. Say for example, if you go home and you announce that I had a wonderful night out last night. Now your best friend might just get the right interpretation out of it. Your parents might think through something else. Here the word psyche is their school of thought or our school of thought. The way we think when given a particular scenario is called psyche. Now we go back to the root, which is psychotic. To assess a particular psychotic, we will need to conduct psychometric tests. Psychometric tests give various scenarios and try to understand the reactions of a psychotic so that they exactly can analyze the behavior. The analysis of the behavior of a psychotic is called psychoanalysis and is either done by a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Here, we just about used the word psychometry test. Psycho is mind, meter is measurement. The same root meter is what we must have heard in a lot of other roots. Along the lines of perimeter, thermometer, barometer, there's a long word which is Sphygmomanometer. The word itself is so huge that by listening to it, the blood pressure goes up, and for measuring the same blood pressure, we use a Sphygmomanometer. Extending the same root meter to another part of our body, which is an eye, Optometrist is the person who measures the vision of the eye. Generally, if you're not able to see things properly, you don't end up going directly to an optometrist asking him to measure the vision of the eye. You first go to an eye specialist who is called the ophthalmologist. Ophthal is the root for an eye, and ophthalmologist is the person who is a specialist with the disorders of the eye. One of the cases could be that you just about got some number in your eyes. For the same, you go to an optometrist, he measures the vision of the eye. Once he's done with measuring the vision of the eye, he sends you to an optician. Optician is a specialist with lenses, the one who makes either contact lenses or specs, or he's a specialist with lenses. Another word which is also related to the eye is ocular, which we more so familiarly use in terms of binoculars or monocles. Binoculars, we are very familiar with it, something related to the eye for both the eyes. A monocle is used by the pirates, which we must have seen, the telescopes, or probably even by the watch repairers. They tend to put something in their eye which is for a single lens, that's called a monocle. We just about finished discussing the eye, let's move to the skin. When we talk about the skin, we know the powder by the name Dermicool that just keeps the skin cool during summers. Dermis means the skin. We've all studied again during school. Epidermis is the outer layer of the skin and hypodermis is the inner layer of the skin. Dermatology then becomes a study of skin, and dermatologist is a specialist with skin related ailments. Dermatitis is inflammation of the skin. Generally during an allergy, if you start scratching your skin, you could see the swelling on it, which is by the root itis, which talks about swelling. Dermatitis is swelling of the skin. If you look at two other words, one is a pachyderm and taxidermy. Pachyderm is one common word used for all the thick-skinned animals. Could be elephants or hippopotamus or rhinoceros, or sometimes even metaphorically to those people who are incorrigible. हम जैसे हिंदी में ढीठ बोलते हैं. For them, it's not enough communicating once. They're all thick-skinned animals and we call them pachyderm. We just about discussed dermatitis. The roots where dermis was skin and itis was inflammation. So dermatitis is inflammation of the skin. Extending the same root itis to nerves. So when I mean neuritis, it is inflammation of the nerve. Neuro is the nerves, neuritis, inflammation of the nerve, neuralgia is pain in the nerves. Now algia as a root is for pain, and we can extend it to odontalgia, which is pain in the teeth or tooth. So if we come across a word periodontist, first thing that we'll do is dissect the word into peri, odontos and ist. From whatever that we've learned so far, peri means the periphery, or comes from the root perimeter, the word that we had discussed, where perimeter was measurement of the boundary. Peri means the boundary or the periphery. Periodontist is somebody who is a specialist with the periphery of the tooth, which can be put in as the gums. Such complicated words can sometimes be dissected this way into roots, and this kind of a study is called etymological study of the words. The same kind of logic can be extended to a lot of complicated words around us, and that can help us understand the meanings better.